Alright, Travis Wayne Goodsell. Either there was an awards show last night that I just didn't care to watch or know about, or YouTube, and this is the more likely scenario, has been censoring my videos for the lawsuit to protect the church and silence me, who am a victim of the church. So that shows you where the YouTube's loyalties are, as I've already proven that part. But in regards to my latest videos, yeah, something's up, because the pattern's different. That's how you know, when patterns change. So then you have to figure out what external factors may have played a part in altering the pattern. That's how you do science, people. Okay, so as such, plus the fact that it's taking me too long to rewrite the lawsuit if I'm doing videos for each and every single count. And so I need to speed up getting this lawsuit resubmitted, and so I'm not going to be doing any more videos regarding this until after I've submitted it. But I just wanted to update you on the counts that I've done today. They're under count 2 this time, U.S. Code 2381. Yep, treason. See, now that I've already destroyed the credentials of the church, the LDS Church, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, centered in Salt Lake City, Utah, I now am proceeding with the most damning of accusations first. Treason is the highest accusation anybody can be accused of. Thus, that's first, after the destroying of their credentials. And so count 1 deals with the defendant, the church, refusing to recognize the United States as the country to whom they are to give allegiance to, and that evidence of celebrating Brigham Young's entry into the Salt Lake Valley is given state holiday status, whereas their entrance into the Union isn't even acknowledged. Big difference. And so as a result, I'm affected by this. Living in Utah, there are government and business closures and traffic limitations. It's a holiday. So mass transit doesn't run on normal Monday scheduling, since it's since it's a holiday on that day. And so many problems arise with holidays or inconveniences when you're wanting to perform normal duties that you would be in other states. And so that's count 1. Count 2 is a repeat of the previous count in the first section that I did. And this is where I was forced to give an loyalty oath to the church as the kingdom of God. Now, as a kingdom, it means it's a counter-government agency. And as a counter-government agency, they are in defiance and not giving allegiance to the United States of America. Their headquarters are here in Salt Lake City, which is now part of the United States. And so for them to require of their agents, and I'm not using members for a specific reason, which will be mentioned in a future count, in regards to insurance fraud and financial fraud and overall deception of the members, agents. So then I go into count 3. So 3 counts under treason. So that's severe. 3 counts of treason. This one has to do with the defendant's interactions with Russia directly. And of course I've got the evidence for that. One is the tax bill by Mormon Senator, former Mormon Senator Orrin Hatch, whose infamous tax bill, of which he argued with Senator Brown on the committee hearing floor as they debated whether it was for the poor. We all know that Orrin was lying. It was not for the poor. He did it specifically for his church, of whom he is an agent of, so that his church can receive money from Russia. And why did they need to receive money from Russia? Because that's what Russia wanted to do in order for the church to get a temple in Russia. It's called compromat. Everybody who wants to do business with Russia has compromat against them, whether they want it or not. And when Nelson announced in that April 2018 General Conference about the Russian temple, I knew the church was compromised. That they were either working with Russia or working for Russia. And with the changes that Nelson made during that conference, he took away my opportunity to become a high priest. I can't become a high priest anymore. My temple recommend had not expired at that point. It expired, I think, in September of this year. So I still had 2 more years. I just had it renewed that previous September. And and so, yeah, there I was, watching conference, there Nelson was, taking away my opportunity to become a high priest. Now, Mormons, read your book, or Book of Abraham. In the very first chapter, at the very beginning, what does Abraham talk about? Yeah. In Alma, chapter, it's either 12 or 13. I always get it mixed up. One of them's about, the one about the priesthood, about the name and importance of the priesthood, and its origins and stuff like that. So, yeah. People are to become high priests because of their works of righteousness. Not their actions of righteousness, not their beliefs of righteousness, not their oaths of loyalty to cover up crime of the church, but their completed works of righteousness. They have proven themselves, because, as Matthew 7 says, ye shall know them by their fruits. Fruits are the finished work of a seed. And so, yeah, I was astounded as Mormon after Mormon tried to convince me that this was God's plan and everything was fine. Mormons were clueless of what happened to them. And it all corresponds with what tactics Russia uses on someone they have compromise over, whom they want something from. Because they obtain the compromise early. They recognize a person of prominence or potential prominence. They obtain dirt, it's also called. And so when the time comes when they want to use that person, they remind them, hey, we got dirt on you. You now need to do what we tell you to do. And we need a demonstration of loyalty from you. So not only are you going to do what we tell you to do, you're also going to do these other things that will demonstrate your loyalty for us. This is what the church did, because it was reported by local Fox 13 News Utah, Max Roth even. I recognize the voice. He reported that they had found that the church had received money, $32 billion, through their brand new LLC corporations. Remember the tax bill of Orrin Hatch? It gave extra benefits for LLC companies. So yes, Nelson, and if you remember, who died at the beginning of 2018? Monson. The church was setting things up to do deals with Russia over the deathbed period of Monson. And that was part of it. The church wanted a temple in Russia, so Russia says, okay, we want you to show us loyalty by taking away the high priesthood. Also, I don't want your members visiting other members anymore. Do away with that home teaching program you've got, so that the members no longer are in contact with other members. The missionary program, or the ministry program that Nelson replaced it with, does nothing. Nobody gets visited. You know, my ward here, they continued to visit people, but then now they've stopped. They don't go out and visit people anymore. They finally caught on. There's no need to visit anymore, is there? Even though people need to be visited in order to find out how they're doing, if they're okay, if they need help. But the church doesn't want to give physical help. They want people controlled under the religion. So that's the third count, is that Russia controls the church. Whether the church knowingly went in to be controlled, or they tried to get a temple in Russia and then found out later, oops, what did we do? How do we cover this up now? How do we get out of it without getting too much in trouble? But you'll also notice that if you went to the voting records, the Senate, after the midterms, beginning of the year, Mitt Romney and Mike Lee, also both agents of the church and representatives in the Senate from Utah, both voted to lift sanctions from an indicted oligarch of Russia, his businesses. And so that didn't take precedence in the news, because there were more pressing news stories during that time period. But I had become aware of it because of the... kidding me? Because of a brief little news report on it that day that it happened. And so I Googled, searched the senators who voted which way, and found that both Mitt Romney and Mike Lee voted to give aid and comfort to an enemy of America. Treason. And as agents of the church, ba-ba-ba-boom, aid and comfort also applies to the church. That's how treason works. And it was simple, and the evidence is clear. So, yeah, that's treason against America by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. They're so busted.